Hey everyone, welcome back to the series. Welcome back to the channel. F1 2021, the official video game. It is round 8 of the My Team career mode for Cross GT Racing. And we're coming off another, I wouldn't say dominating performance, but another really good performance in round 7. We got a race win in round 6 in Canada, and we come away with a 3rd place finish, back-to-back podiums in round 7 at the French Grand Prix. So things are looking pretty good for our season right now. If you have been watching this series for a while, thank you for tuning in. Please do leave a like on the video. Let me know in the comments any thoughts, or just comment whatever you want. I like reading the comments, I like replying to them. If you're new to the series, then thank you for coming along. I would recommend going back and watching the rest of the series, see where what got us to this point and why the last 2 results actually mean so much to me in this career mode. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a small channel like mine when more people subscribe to it. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. So as I said, we've had 2 really good finishes in the last couple of rounds. In the last race, we were having trouble with trouble with power in the car. The car just didn't seem as fast as it should have been, and we have got some sort of increased wear on the turbocharger and the ICE. But it's not too bad. We can deal with it. We did pretty well in the last race. I think the only thing that really caught us out was race strategy. We finished behind Charles Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas, who both pitted probably 2 or 3 laps after we did to go into their final set of medium compound tyres. So they had fresher tyres for the end of the race. So that there, I feel, was probably the bigger factor there. And we don't want to go to our last set of components right away, because we are only in round 8. We're only at the halfway mark of the season. R&D is going along really well. We're gonna finish off the fuel tank weight redistribution that failed last time. And we've got some more points to use. So even though it's only a small time frame, we're going to rush this one anyway. Major, I can't remember what it was, but a major upgrade. We're going to rush it.
The department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
Of course we spend money at that point because we've got a ton of money and we don't have the resource points, and we don't really want to spend the resource points. If it was resource points, or maybe team claim. Again, I wasn't paying attention to the actual words, I was just looking at the numbers. Quick turnaround, only a few days as we prepare for the Austrian Grand Prix. So not a lot to do in the facilities. Just sort of touching up some stuff that we couldn't do before the last round, and also that chassis upgrade that failed last time, just restarting that one. So it's now going to be a little bit longer before that one's on the car, but again, rushing the upgrades. We're getting the majority of them on faster. There's only some of them that haven't gone through, and it's really helping us out now as the car's really starting to come into its own. Practice, yeah, we did the same as always. Managed to get all the resource points for ourselves. Nico also came through with a whole bunch of extra resource points as well, so he's really consistent there. His contract, I do believe, is up at the end of this race, so we're gonna, we've saved a lot of money so that we can renew his contract, because we want to keep him on for the rest of the season because he is consistent, and I reckon if we get the car up to the standard that we know it can get to, and improve it even more, we could get him into the points as well, and that's only going to help us towards the end of the season with the constructor standings. We're currently sitting 5th, I do believe, in the constructors. So we want to stay there. We really want to stay at least 5th. Now that we're there, we don't want to drop below that. Ideally, we would want to go further, but realistically, at this point, 5th is what we're aiming for. As we're now into qualifying, here at the Austrian Grand Prix, it is a quick circuit, only a minute, or just over a minute for a lap, and most of it is just flat out. As you can see, we're just going foot to the floor. The second to last corner here, we do have to brake to get around it, whereas it seems the AI can sort of just race around it at full speed as we come down the final straight for our best lap, which was good enough at this point for P5, a 1 minute 5.5.
Which ends up getting us P10. Only 9 tenths separating us in P10 from Valtteri Bottas in P1. Nico 6 tenths behind us, P13. So we're sitting around about the same sort of level. So hopefully we can get further ahead in race day.
Welcome to the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about the captain. That was a great podium in the last race, so can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs, so it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Sainz, Charles Leclerc and Perez, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo and the captain, Gasly, Ocon, Nico Rosberg and Russell, Schwartzman, Stroll, Yuki Tsunoda and Antonio Giovinazzi, Latifi, Joe, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Sounds good to me, Jeff. We've come off 2 podiums in the last 2 rounds, and this high speed.
This one, I reckon we can do really well here as well. 2-stop again, like last week. We're going to go softs onto the mediums and back onto the softs at the end. With it being a high-speed course, the softs are definitely going to play, I reckon, a bigger factor than the mediums will. So we want to go 2 stints on the softs as we've got 5 red lights sitting in P10. We're off and away for the Austrian Grand Prix. That's a decent start for us.
Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
Straight away, Jeff's got some issues with the ICE. Well, Jeff knows these issues. I've got the issues because I'm the one driving the car. But we had the same issue in the last race. The wear on the ICE as we go up the inside and we crash. Well, not crash, but we tap the inside of Alonso. A little bit of a collision there. That now jumps us up. We're now P9 after Norris gets back ahead of us. P8, we're side by side with Norris. Heading into turn 4. We managed to squeeze him out. And we've now jumped up into P8. Halfway through this first lap here in Austria. As we run a little bit wide there out of turn 6. We've got a good line through turn 7. Let's take another look. So we drop back a couple of positions and then we go ahead of 2 McLarens and Ocon in the Alpine. We just clip the inside of Alonso there, just the wheel, so no damage to us. I'm not sure about his car. but then Norris tries to make a move on us, and even Ocon was there too on the inside. He managed to come right across. Norris pulls out, we just cut straight across in front and make that position ours. P8, lap 1 down, very quick lap around this track, 36 laps, so more laps than some of the other tracks, but it's a much shorter track, only 10 corners, so we are just going to be going foot to the floor, pedal to the metal, all the way. Yeah, so as I was saying before, the ICE, there's some wear on that. Jeff's a bit concerned about that. It was only at I think 50% at the end of the last race, so it's, you know, based on the numbers I've had for other parts last season and for the one we had earlier this season, we've still got plenty of laps left on it, I reckon. So we'll be all good for that. It just means we're not going to have as much power in this race, so we are going to be relying on our racing line and the fact that we're going to be doing 2 stints on these softs. It's all going to come down to race strategy here. And with this track being quite a high speed track, I've found that there aren't that many sort of passing opportunities, so you've really got to pick your spots. So hopefully that plays into our hands.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second.
Right, lap 5 now, and there's still really been no change to any of the positions. The top 6 have now sort of pulled away and isolated themselves. There's now a gap forming with the middle runners as well, as we make a big dive, a huge dive up the inside of Alonso, who comes back at us at turn 4. Well, no, turn 3, sorry. We managed to get it done. Let's take another look. We came from way back, and we just did a massive dive and managed to just squeeze him out and get the job done.
Strategy is available on the MFD.
P7, we've got a brand new strategy.
Copy that.
Alright, so we're going to pit a lap later. The tyre wear on these tyres is actually pretty good, so we can hold on for another lap. Hopefully that will play into our hands a lot better in terms of race strategy, because the gap to the top 6 now is just a massive gulf. There's just a huge gap. They're all getting DRS on each other, and we're busy squabbling back here, myself and Alonso.
We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
Okay, so tyre grip is now going to start becoming a factor, but that's fine because we are going to pit in a couple laps time, as Alonso makes a good move on us at turn 4 thanks to the DRS on that straight. But that's alright because we're still managing to keep pace with them, so we're still with the pace that we've got, we're still looking at a top 10 finish. So points, we can almost guarantee points in this race with the pace that we've got. Pit strategy will come into play, and hopefully that'll get us back within striking range of the top 6, as they've already just gone around turn 1 and we are still racing down the straight, so we're quite a way off their pace. But this is only the first stint, early going in this race.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
Alright, so we're going to be coming into the pits at the end of this lap, as we're still right behind Alonso. We've got DRS, he's just pulling us along, not at the rate that we need to be going to catch up to the guys at the front. It was to make another massive dive bomb, and this time we do it much cleaner. No fight put up there by Alonso.
Good job, nice overtake.
Cheers, Jeff. That's probably our best overtaking opportunity right there at turn 3. DRS full speed up to that corner. We can brake. We can try and brake a little bit later. The AI brakes a bit earlier. We don't really have any. I don't think we've got any brake upgrades on the car, or maybe we've got some, but we do have a little bit of an advantage there when it comes to braking, especially at that corner. As Leclerc is now coming to the pits, he's the only front runner going into the pits. We're going to stay out. We're going to try and push these tyres out for another lap. Now that we've jumped ahead of Alonso, we've got some clean air in front of us.
Okay, gap ahead is 6.2 seconds.
Strange it's 6.2 because it's saying on my screen 9.6. But if it is only 6.2, that's cool. That's great for us. That ICE at 64% wear. We've had worse. but that is definitely going to affect our performance as Alonso manages to get that move done. We did touch wheels a couple of times, and Norris just blasts past us with the DRS. We're not going to put up a fight here. We're just going to let them have those two spots. Hopefully Norris can actually get ahead of Alonso and start pulling us along faster. We might actually be able to start making some ground on those front guys, because they are light years ahead of us now. As we go off the track, we go wide, but we end up using that to our advantage. We get around the inside of Norris at turn 8, and he just comes straight back at turn 9. We're going to stay out again. We're going to try and use these guys to pull us along. Use these guys in the DRS zones. As Ricciardo's now heading into the pits, Bottas is in the pits, so there's another front runner into the pits. Hopefully we can gain some ground. Hopefully when they come back out, they will be caught up with those back markers. And also Bottas has just come out of the pits ahead of those back markers. He's now got a bit of a gap to make up before he catches up to the midfield pack that we're a part of. Lap 14 now. We still haven't pitted because we are just we're just using the DRS that Alonso and Norris are giving us. We're going to box this lap because now the tyres are just getting they're just out of control. We've got no grip now. P8, we've pushed the tyres out as far as we can. I mean, if we've been able to go this far on soft, and we should have pitted 5 laps ago, we might be able to stretch the mediums all the way out to the end of the race. Ideally, I should have changed to the hards if I wanted to go the distance, but the mediums might actually be able to do it. The tyre wear doesn't seem too bad, plus the mediums will have more pace, and I feel like we will be able to perform better on the mediums than on the hards at this track. So we're into the pits now, as those back marker cars are now going to pass us. Ricciardo sitting P20, Russell and Mazepin are a mile behind us. Russell's just coming onto that back straight.
We're doing one more stop today, one stop left in our strategy.
Alright, so one more pit stop to do. We've actually been dropped onto another set of softs. So it looks like the team have changed the strategy, or maybe by choosing to pit later, I've changed our strategy. We're now onto another set of softs, so we may end up finishing this race on the mediums, this might actually be a bit of a blessing in disguise.
Yellow flag.
Because we might be able to use these softs to try and catch up to some of these medium runners.
In the next part of the track, no overtaking through the yellow flags.
Okay, so there's an incident up here. Something's happened up here as we come around the corner. There's a couple of cars.
We've been informed that the safety car is out. There appears to have been an issue with multiple stopped vehicles on the track.
Okay, we've got a safety car now, which is great for us. It means we're all going to be able to catch up to those front guys.
Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
So, I'm not sure what happened back there. A couple of cars looked like they were a bit tangled up back after turn 4. If we take a look, so one of the Ferraris was involved, so we're on board with Leclerc, I think, and one of the Aston Martins just spins out. I think that was Schwartzman. If we take a look, so he's got Schwartzman, and there's Verstappen. They just lock wheels, and it sends him into a spin, and then Leclerc just like bumps into the front of him. If we take a look from Verstappen's view here, so he locks up, and then he just turns away. And when they're on the gravel, that sends Schwartzman into that spin, and then he's just waiting to re-enter the race. So that's what happened there. So only minor front wing damage there to Leclerc, but that has put him way back down the order. Lap 18, safety car is coming in. There is we're going to be starting lap 19 when we come around this corner. So 18 laps left to go. We're on soft. We're still going to have to pit once more. Alright, so we're going to go mediums for the rest of the race. Pitting at the end of this lap. This might play into our strategy, as everyone else is still going to have to make one more pit stop after this. So we're going to have one more pit stop left in the race. As we go around the outside of Alonso, we get the job done on Alonso. thanks to these soft compound tyres, we might be able to gain some positions here and set us up for a good run on the mediums. I'm not too sure if we're going to box at the end of this lap. Actually, we might just stay out because we have the pace and we've got the opportunity here to make some moves. Let's try to make a move on Ocon, but he's got good acceleration there coming out of turn 8. So we're going to stay out. We're going to try and get as much position on this track as we can as we go side by side with Ocon. It looks like he might be using ERS, or it could just be the wear on our engine is just causing that lack of power to the extent where the Alpine is actually faster than us now. But that's okay, as we make a pretty easy move on Ocon there. It's just straight out speed using that ERS.
Brilliant. Nice move.
P8 now. So we've gained a couple of positions in the last 2 laps. We've got 17 laps left to go.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Alright, strategy change time.
Copy.
So yep, so we are definitely going to stay out. We're going to stay out until lap 25. We're going to pit lap 25. That will give us 11 laps on mediums. Hopefully in the next...
With that car, they're going to be slow.
Okay, so we just caught the end of that message from Jeff there. So apparently Norris has got an issue with his car. It couldn't be any worse than the issue that we've got, because he still seems to be able to run with us. But that does mean we do need to try and get past him as soon as, because if he's got an issue, he could potentially just slow us down. And we really need to keep pace with the guys up the front, as the top 4 are already starting to pull away. As we just tap the back of Norris, but we use DRS and ERS to get past him. P7 now. We've got Verstappen and Ricciardo ahead of us, but then there's a bit of a gulf between the top 4 as Verstappen gets ahead of Ricciardo. We go purple through sector 1. We could be on point here for a fastest lap, as we use the DRS on Ricciardo. So Ricciardo and Verstappen, we're going to use them to pull us along. As we go around the outside of Ricciardo, actually, can we make the pass? We're side by side. That turns into the inside for us at turn, what was that, it's turn 6. Green through sector 2. If we can get a purple here, if we can just get DRS on Verstappen around turn 10. Can we get a fastest lap here? Great exit, DRS. We're gaining on Verstappen. We get a fastest lap.
You'll be on the mediums.
A 106.9. Judging by that number, I would say we're the only driver to go below 107 in this race. We're now P4.
The gap to the car ahead is 2.6 seconds.
So we've managed to close a bit of a gap. There's Hamilton and Sainz are now squabbling. And Perez is up there too, so the 3 of them are all fighting for the lead. And they're all essentially slowing each other down. So this is playing right into our hands. Lap 24. We're going to be pitting at the end of the next lap. Or at the end of this lap. It just depends on how we go. The gap now, it's slowly closing. We're still not within DRS range, but we are almost there. 1.1 seconds to get to Sainz. They do have better straight line speed on us, but at the same time they are also getting the DRS. We haven't got any DRS, so we're just having to drain the battery every lap to try and get just inch a little closer to them. We're in DRS range to Sainz now. If we can just maintain this gap.
Yet, but we've seen a problem at our end. We're looking into it.
Oh, come on, Jeff, you can't be pulling that out now. We're so close. Okay, it's just it'll be fine.
We're
DRS.
boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can. Gap to teammate behind is 7.0 seconds.
So Rosberg is 7 seconds behind us. We are now within DRS range of Carlos Sainz. The gap now to Sainz is only half a second.
Find somewhere to retire as soon as possible. We can't risk you carrying on with this race. Again, find somewhere safe to stop. We need you to retire.
You have got to be kidding me. We were doing so well. We were on track there for maybe a race win. Like, we were almost about to pass Sainz and get
Are
on
you
podium.
okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
We didn't get hit, Jeff. At least not physically. We got hit right in the feels when that engine failed on us.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
So Lewis Hamilton takes out the win here in Austria, and Red Bull 2 and 3, double podium for them. We should have been up there. We could have been up there, but that mechanical failure just ruined any chance we had of getting points. We even had the fastest lap, so as long as we were in the points, we would have gained an extra point just from that. Oh, so a disappointing end to a race we were actually doing really well in. Safety car helped us out a lot. The change of strategy, running 2 soft compound stints one after the other, actually meant that we were going to be up the front after us, and we could have gone our final stint on the mediums and been ahead of the rest. But not meant to be. Driver standings, we are still P9. Not many changes going on there. Verstappen 38 points behind Hamilton now. Bottas 48 points behind him. So the gap is slowly opening, but not by much. Looks like Red Bull have I think marginally closed the gap, or maybe it's the same now. 39 points behind Mercedes. McLaren have now dropped down to triple digits behind them. They were only 96 points behind the end of last race. Now 128 points behind, so they may now be just battling for third place with Ferrari for the rest of the season. Engine failure is the most frustrating way to lose a race. I mean, if you lose it on the track is one thing, but if you lose it in the garage, that's frustrating. I honestly thought that engine would have been able to last the rest of that race, and then we're going to change to a new one for round 9. But wasn't meant to be. Take it on the chin. And just look ahead for the next race. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you thought and what your thoughts are going forward. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next one.